In this video, we are going to add our background image for our main body right here, and then we're going to add our text into it. And then when we add our text, we're going to add a little padding so it pushes it over and it pushes it down. And if you remember from last time, I asked you as more kind of homework to add links to your navigation. Hopefully you did that, and when you did that, you might have noticed that it turned blue and underlined. And if you weren't able to solve that, the code for that is you would need to target the A tag, as we talked about before. But this way, I'm actually targeting within the nav background, so it says within that scope. Text decoration takes off the underline, and I'm changing the color to white. The color used to be in here in the LI, but since now it's surrounded by the A tag, you have to redefine the color tag for the A tag rather than LI, or else it won't work. But what we want to do now is we want to add the background image for our main content. So I'll do main background. And I did look up the width before I started the video, which was 950. And I want to center it with margin. And then I set a height to 700. The reason why we're setting heights is because the way I have the image, it's not going to repeat itself. So we need to set a height. I want to set 700 so it goes down the full page. And then that way you scroll down, it doesn't look like the background image actually stops. And then before we add our actual content, let's make an ID for it. Or actually make a class so that way we can use it multiple times. Content, padding. Alright, let's add this to our HTML. Let's first add our comment though. Let's first see, make sure this came in correctly, which it did, and then this is what I was talking about. So it's down here. If I made a shorter height, it would stop here, and then our blue would be in. So this is the look I want, where it doesn't stop. It goes to the end of the document, and unless I add more text to it, it's not going to push it down anymore. And then before we add the text, let's first add the class within there. Despite what I did originally put for the image here, welcome to learning HTML, what I want to concentrate is in this Lore. It's actually that's how it's spelled, but anyways, what that is referring to is called Greek text. It's something used by a lot of different developers. It's called a placeholder. It's a way of having actual content if you don't know what it is yet. And then this website, ipsum.com, is something that I definitely highly recommend. You could do paragraph words, and then let's just say 5 paragraphs generated, and then it will give you 5 paragraphs. In this case, we're only interested in one, so let's go ahead and copy that first one, and then place it within content. And then voila. So we actually got our official content. Our site is looking like the way that we designed it. But anyways, going back to this, like I said, it's very useful if you don't know what content yet that you want yet. But say if you know that you have images, you don't know what those are, you can use what's called placehold.it. And that's kind of actually the name for the URL, so it's really easy to remember. But anyways, with this, you can do like an image search. You do the HTTP placeholders, and then you define your width and then your height, and then I'll insert an image like this. This site also offers some other things like color, size, text formats, but I've used it mostly for images. Again, you can use it for whatever you want to, but definitely very useful sites to make use of if you want to use placeholders for whatever reason. And then something I wanted to show is when I first looked at this, I thought this was kind of a little boring with how short this is. So there is a way to make this actually I'm talking about the navigation background, to make it full width. To do that, we actually have to change our CSS a little bit. But let's first do that all through inspect element. So we'll have to change this to a position of absolutes. So this will go outside of our scope as far as everything, and then we'll put we'll have to 0 width of 100%, so it goes all the way. We change our LIs. Now I'm going to LI class. I'm going to click here and add position relative 0. Change this to an actual inline because it'll line up correctly. Put the padding down to 15. And this should shift to all right, so what I did here was for our nav background, I made it a position absolute, made it left 0, so it'd be flush against our left, made it a width 100%. So what this means is it'll be the full width. I went into our LI class here, nav background LI. I changed the display to be inline, and then I changed our padding to be 13, so that way our border would line up perfectly on the top and bottom. I changed this position relative is actually not necessary. There's top 0. But what this basically means is now, because this is an absolute position, relative will go off of this. But where we do make use of relative is within our main background and then this top 61. So basically this is using, if I define top 0, it's going to the top of our nav here, but because I've defined, and I'm pushing it down to 10, pushing it down to those, there we go, 61, so that way again it's flush line with our main navigation background. But I just wanted to show this kind of extra thing. If you didn't like how short our main navigation background was, this is a way of making it full width and then still be able to have everything look the way it did before, just slightly changing the CSS. But again, it's up to you. There's different ways to go about this. I just was working for what we had, as short as possible, just basically showing that if you have any ideas or something changed last minute, it's possible to do something. You just have to adjust a couple of things to make it happen instead of totally rebuilding your site. So it's just one of the ways of being quicker about development is learning, okay, if I want to do this, what do I need to do to make it possible? But this is definitely kind of one of my shorter videos. Next time I go into this, we get more into actually JavaScript. I obviously didn't do it all with CSS, but I think at this time this was a good introduction to how to do HTML and CSS and time to actually some fun stuff and learn some cool tricks along the way. But anyways, leave me comments or suggestions that you'd like to see, and I look forward to teaching next class. Bye.